Alright, real quick Incursion League. Doing some reactions and some thoughts on the recent league announcements since I wasn't actually here when the Incursion League was officially announced. I was still away on vacation, but I'm here now. Gonna show you guys what I thought about it. I've already gone through this, so I'm gonna kind of just hit the key points on it. And first things first, the trailer. Not gonna play it again, but really liked the trailer. Definitely got me pretty hyped up for it. And from what we see in the trailer and down below, I really think that this league could end up being one of the greats. It kind of takes some of the core concept from Breach and distorts it a little bit, but still sounds like it could be the same level of just swarming, always feel like you're in a rush, always just trying to kill more, kill more, kill more. And then the big temples at the end themselves are just might just end up being the end game alternative to mapping. I know it's not really a true alternative because you have to map to unlock them, but going forward might end up bringing some sort of real alternative to mapping at endgame that I've been saying the game could really use for a long time now. So I'm pretty goddamn excited for this league slash mini expansion. So let me just get through all this real quick. The initial announcement. New items, new gems, massive revamp. Yes, yes, yes. We got the temple. And then it starts off with the incursions. I like the idea of the incursions. Apparently they're going to be part of the map or zone they're in, so they inherit the mods, which may lead to some pretty crazy encounters difficulty-wise. But I like the kind of Diablo 3 Rift, Greater Rift style of killing that it brings, where you've kind of got this monster bar filling up, although in this case, instead of spawning a boss when you fill it up, it just fills up when you've cleared the area and it auto kicks you out, but you're also on a timer the whole time, kind of like a breach stone. So it's like a mix between the two, and I think that part, assuming you know there's not some crazy gap of monsters and nothing to kill for 10 seconds while you run around, that's where like the core potential lies for me. I think the end game temple, once you've got it all completed and you put together all the pieces and you get to fight the whole end game thing, I think that part's probably going to be a hit, almost guaranteed, if they've already got working versions of it in their local private testing servers. So pretty excited about all that for sure. We've got some screenshots of the stuff and whatnot, the monsters killed. And the artwork, the whole just like scenery is really nice as well. Pretty excited. It just looks pretty unique everywhere. Everything has a nice Vol, I guess, feel that you haven't really seen since obviously Adziri, with the whole Apex of Sacrifice and then just more screenshots. But beyond that, they go into some rewards, which are interesting. I'll just say they're interesting for now. I feel like, obviously, we don't know too much about the blue items. They show some crazy mods, but if they show up blue, it means you have to craft it from scratch other than the crazy mod, so it's still kind of hard to deal with. We'll see. And then the next thing we've got is a unique that's pretty decent, low-level leveling item, and it has a tag at the bottom about upgrading it, and then they show the upgraded version. So we've got upgrading unique items, which is another thing kind of similar to Breach. I feel like that's kind of a straight up just took something from Breach and applied it to the new thing. But it's always fun to do, and it's probably going to be, I would imagine, having to do with finishing the completed temple. Always going to be some exciting stuff there if it's chase uniques at the end of it. We'll see how those go. And then at the core, we've got all the new gems. The new gems, and then just the whole Incursion temple raiding thing. Those two things are what I'm most excited about for sure. We've got some new Vol skills, Vol purities. Cool. Vol Blight seems pretty interesting. Depending on how fast you can fill it back up, might help with Blight on the clearing speed side of things. And then we've got a lot of new traps. A couple of them I wasn't a huge fan of. I think it's these 8-second cooldown traps. They've all got, they scale with cast speed, which as a trap build you generally didn't get cast speed at all because you didn't need it. it didn't do anything because you just throw traps. You don't cast your traps. So we'll see how they feel on pure trapping builds. They may end up being something that shows more play in like a non-trap build, using them as a secondary kind of totem-esque skill for extra boss damage. But maybe they'll be good anyway. We'll have to see. Siphoning trap sounds really cool. Get some sustain, especially earlier on when you don't have like Uber Lab and all your core endgame unique items for whatever type of trapper you're trying to play. Vol Blade Vortex sounds really fun. Definitely going to be trying that one out at some point. The fact that just for bosses alone, especially in a map where you're not always at your maximum stacks, being able to release what is essentially a max stacked Blade Vortex, it's pretty much going to kill map bosses on its own if you've got the damage to back it up on your build. And then regular Blade Vortex also got changed to only 10 max blades and some other scaling stuff, which is interesting. I think most relevant thing from that is that Blade Vortex might be slightly better for leveling pre-maps, because one of the big issues with it originally was that since you had low cast speed and no duration modifiers, you couldn't stack it up enough, so maybe that's going to be fixed a bit. We've got Explosive Trap, which is replacing Fire Trap as the level 1. I was initially kind of upset about it because it's Fizz conversion scaling, not pure elemental. And historically, every trap build pretty much ever that you played, especially as Shadow, the trapping class, you would always get the elemental nodes, which in the case of this gem would only scale half of it. But I've been told from other people that apparently somewhere else it was announced that the Shadow is starting area is going to be changed, and they may have specifically said that you're going to get trap nodes. We'll see how it goes, but I like the idea behind it. Flamethrower trap again, not too keen on. And then charged trap supports gives you charges, which you could already get from the tree. Might be changed, might not. The crit multi and the trap throwing speed, however, are not the greatest numbers wise, but it is a level 1 gem. If really either of those, either the crit multi or the trap speed per charges scales with levels, this could be a very, very strong support when combined with some of the either new traps or the revamped traps that aren't going to have cooldowns anymore, because that trap throwing speed is basically cast speed. So that one's, we'll have to see. It's got potential. Then we've got the revamped skills. I've got a list of these here, just kind of skim through the ones that I'm interested in. Arc, obviously, I think pretty much everybody's excited for revamped Arc. Burning Arrow, I don't think it's going to be that good still, personally. Maybe somebody will be able to make it ignite things. Flame Blast is going to be big. Freeze Pulse, I liked the changes. I thought Freeze Pulse was plenty strong already. Incinerate looks cool. Don't know if I'll care too much for it. Infernal Blow, hell yes. I've been, for pretty much since sometime in 2.x League, I always had in the back of my mind I want to play Infernal Blow. But I never got around to it because I just liked that you hit one mob and the whole thing blows up. But then when they nerfed AoE scaling in 2.6 or 3.0, whenever they did that, it kind of turned me off to ever trying an Infernal Blow, but maybe it'll come back. I just like the idea behind that skill and how it interacts with the monsters, and I think they made it also get better single target potentially, so that's a pretty big deal. I really like that one. Lightning Trap having no cooldown is huge. That's probably, spoilers, going to be my league starter unless something massive changes. And then Rain of Arrows, whatever. Some support changes, the Vol skills, piggybacking onto the main skills, all sounds pretty cool. We got some uniques. New Corruption Implicits got shown off. I like those for sure. Unholy Might being available and not specified to melee, since pretty much almost every source of Unholy Might, for the most part, was restricted to you had to do something with melee to get it, and now it's casters and other range builds are going to be having access to it. So that's a pretty big deal for potential poison or just fizz to chaos scaling builds in general. Unique belt, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see on that one. A new amulet with a bunch of chaos stuff. It was pretty cool. Corruption implicits again. Bleeding cannot be inflicted on the ring. Awesome. Cool stuff. And then an amulet that seems to have 2 corruption implicits. I'm assuming. That's all. I mean, we can't tell for sure. The fact that one of them is level 23 purity is insane. And then wed is okay, but it just looks like that probably has something to do with the league mechanic, I would imagine. Somehow letting you get 2 corruptions on one item. However it works. Pretty cool for making chase endgame items, and also a new card. Pretty good. Finally, at least, the first card they preview out of a new batch isn't just completely garbage, considering a lot of the recent ones have been pretty lackluster. Overall, pretty cool stuff there. Obviously, you can all check that out on your own. I think that's it. But yeah. Overall, my hype meters are quite high for this league. Definitely looking forward to it. Definitely going to be rolling a lot of builds. Doing a lot of temple runnings. And who knows, maybe I think this one has potential to be at least, it has the potential to be the most successful league since Breach, if it all gets implemented properly. The core idea, in my opinion, is just really innovative, but also kind of keeping it where players aren't going to get too overwhelmed like they did in Bestiary. Bestiary wasn't bad in my opinion, just there was a lot of complex stuff and it kind of forced you into crafting. This one forces you into killing. People like killing. Sounds good. Okay, that wraps up my reactions to the league. Hope you guys are excited as I am. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video, whenever the hell that is. I don't know. Goodbye.